Hey, welcome. I hope you guys are doing very well. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's reading is the person on your mind. What have they realized about you? So you could be asking about a specific person, maybe a specific group of people in a certain environment. But yeah, okay. So there are three groups for you to choose from. The first group is the Rainbow Moonstone. Second group is the Citrine Crystal. And group three is the amethyst crystal. Okay, so what have they realized? Group one, two, and three. Feel free to pause the video for a moment or two if you need some time to choose your group, but I will see you all in your readings. Hey, welcome. If you have chosen the first group, the Rainbow Moonstone in this reading is for you. The person on your mind or group of people on your mind, I don't know, environment. What have they realized about you? Okay, so we have the Knight of Pentacles upright, King of Cups in reverse, and the Lovers in reverse. Okay. What have they realized about you? Alright, so they realize that you are generally someone who is quiet, grounded, that you are responsible, but still a little immature in a good way, which they like. They have realized that you are very loyal and committed, whether that be to them or to other people in your life or specific people in your life. Like maybe once you're committed to someone or once you've decided, okay, like this is my friend, this is my, partner, that you are very loyal. Or maybe you're quite loyal and committed to people until they give you a reason not to be. But it feels like they've noticed just how attractive you are, and the fact that their attraction towards you keeps on growing. Like that's something they've noticed. They've also noticed that you are relaxed, chill. They think you both quite introverted or low key, maybe like to stay in. So they could feel like you guys are quite similar in those ways. They've seen that you are great with finances. They do think you're great at managing your resources. They've realized that they want to commit to you, or they want to continue to do so. And, they feel like you're very down to earth and homey. And they've also realized that you're quite comfortable in life, at least from their perspective. They've seen that you're loyal, they've seen that you're trustworthy. They think you are hardworking and responsible for the most part. They've also realized that you can be quite private, maybe reserved or secretive or just selective in who you are extremely vulnerable with. They definitely think you're smart because you pay attention. Like they do think you have maybe good awareness. Or you're just attentive and you kind of just take in a lot of things, a lot of details. But yeah, they feel like you are smart because you do pay attention. Even though they see you as maybe sensitive or empathetic or emotional, they do think you are very rational and analytical at the same time, you know. But that's what they like about you. They like that you're, a sensitive, empathetic, emotional, but also that you're logical, maybe strategic. Like they like that about you because they think, the combination of these aspects kind of like make you open-minded, you know. They have noticed that you like to move slowly and cautiously, but at times you're impulsive as well. They've realized that you are quite studious, or you've studied a lot in the past, or you're always learning something, no matter what that is or what it has to do with. They do think you are realistic as well. They've seen that you are mature, independent. They're not 100%, but they do think you take calculated risks. They've also realized that you have a stable career or job. Um, they've also seen that you are very loyal and committed to someone in particular, to a very specific person. For some of you, this could be a child, or someone you could see as family, or like actually family, you know. Um, but yeah, they've realized that you are quite consistent, and they've also realized that they do want to create or maintain a very strong foundation with you. They've realized that they find you very interesting. But when it comes to maybe like love, they've noticed that you might be quite jaded when it comes to love. They do think you're still carrying around, or you're not over, you haven't completely healed from a lot of the hurt that you've been through in love. And that when it comes to love, you are cautious because of your past experiences. They've realized in their perspective that you might need a lot more self-love and, you know, self-compassion. They think you value yourself for sure, but like not enough. Like they think you should put yourself on that pedestal. Do you know what I mean? And they have realized that your mood can fluctuate at times, you know, for random or unknown reasons to them. They do think it's been a long time since you've been emotionally fulfilled, maybe by another person. Maybe you, yeah, by another person. Wait, hold on. They could think that you're emotionally fulfilled by yourself or just content with where you are at emotionally right now. Um, but they've realized that you are happy being independent or single, um, or you're perfectly content or used to not being emotionally fulfilled. So it's like not really a big deal that you don't have it, because they think you still lead a very good life. They could think that you have received a lot of wrong or harmful advice and guidance, but they do think you are recovering from that. In some ways, they realize or think that you're withdrawn and repressed, but this is something they believe you're healing from. Like they've noticed that you are anxious at times, and they realize that maybe being with them is or will be a very tough choice for you just because of your past experiences. And they honestly do not blame you. It feels like they understand and have empathy for, you know, the reasons why you're cautious. Like they've realized that you are afraid of making the wrong decision, or at least that's how they perceive it. Um, they also think that you've had to change your values of over time. Like they do think, you know, your values, your morals, your goals have changed a lot over time. Like maybe who you were in like 5 years ago is a completely, you know, different person to who you are now. They do think you've undergone a lot of growth because of your life experiences. They've realized that you might be indecisive about them, maybe indecisive in general, you know. But they realize that they want to close any remaining distance between you both. And I don't know if I've said this already, but they've noticed that you might have some trust issues, maybe issues with intimacy, maybe feeling uncomfortable with receiving affection. They've realized that you guys could be quite similar, but they're not sure whether that's actually a good thing or something that they should be like concerned about. They've noticed that you may have conflict in some of your relationships, or they're worried that you may clash or be incompatible with some of the people in their life. But right now, they don't really see it as a problem. But that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I really do hope it could be helpful and make sense. I am wishing you guys the best, okay? Please take care. Bye. Hey, welcome. If you have chosen the second group, the citrine crystal, then this reading is for you. What have they realized about you, the person on your land? Okay, so we have Ace of Swords in reverse, we have Knight of Swords in reverse, and we have the Ten of Cups in reverse as well. So please only take the messages that resonate or make sense, or maybe sometimes you can't always help how people perceive you, so anyways, so what have they realized about you? So they've realized that you are really not trying to talk to them right now. They think you've heard something negative about them, that you don't really want to know what they have to say. They realize that you have the wrong impression of them. Like, they do think other people have turned you against them, that other people have ruined, maybe any chance of something forming or growing between the two of you. It feels like they've realized you're only being told half of the story and getting a lot of false information about them. They've started to realize that things not working out between you both is probably a good thing. They think you're not assertive, or you prefer not to be a leader, and they've realized in their perspective, that you can be impressionable, that you are maybe heavily influenced by someone. They could have realized that you are under a lot of pressure from someone as well. In their mind, they think you aren't the best communicator, that you don't really protect or defend yourself from other people. It feels like they've realized that you are mad at the wrong people. And like the first example that comes to my mind is, like, say for example you are a part of a group of friends, but this group of friends treats you poorly, right? And then they feel like these people who don't even respect or treat you right has maybe kind of turned you against me, and like your anger is really misplaced. Like, they could have maybe like a kind of that kind of perspective, but they do feel like you have been hearing a lot of wrong information about them, and they feel like you're mad at the wrong person. Like, you're mad at someone who doesn't really treat you wrong, but you're not mad at the people who do, if that makes sense. That's the vibe I'm kind of getting. Um, So yeah, they don't think you are the most effective communicator at times. They do think you need to kind of speak up and defend yourself more. But they have realized that that could be hard for you. Like they have noticed or they understand that you are overwhelmed, and they've realized you trust yourself more or make better decisions when you're on your own, you know? They've noticed that you are unprepared or you don't really plan ahead, or that you have, maybe scattered energy, thoughts, or actions, or your schedule is quite scattered. They could think you generally have trouble focusing. Um, for some of you, though, this whole trouble focusing thing, they could think it's because you are hyper aware of a lot of different things, so it could make it like hard to focus, if that makes sense. So you could be, that captures your attention, and then that captures your attention, But yeah, they've noticed that you are more introverted around certain people. But the thing is, like, they don't really see you as someone who is, like, maybe naturally introverted. They've realized you're not very close to your family or certain people in your life, and they feel sad for you about that. That you may not have very close family or relationships to your family. In their perspective, though, they could think that the disconnect in your relationships could stem from you. Right now, they realize you both need to maybe block contact with each other. Maybe that's already been done, but they've also realized that they need to stop talking about you and complaining to other people about you as well. Like they've realized that whatever they say is irrelevant. They've realized that you were very impatient with them, that you that the conclusion you came to of them was reckless and premature. They realize that you have a fear of conflict with certain people in your life that allows them to control you. They realize that you don't care about them, that you may not even care about other people that much either in their perspective. It feels like they're kind of disappointed by everything that's happened. They think they've noticed you're jealous of other people and them as well. They've realized in their perspective that you're not loving, caring, that is not really in your nature in this person's perspective, by the way, guys, They feel like they've realized that you were never really a good friend to them again in their mind. This person is a bit salty about whatever happened, but they're happy it did, so that things didn't kind of like get drawn out. Like they're happy it ended when it did. They know there's a lot of unfinished business and conversations that need to be had between you both, but they realize that they don't care about resolution anymore. They just want you guys to maybe continue to stay away from each other. But that is all that is coming out for this group. I do hope it could be helpful more than anything else. I am wishing you guys the best, okay? Please take care. Bye. Hey, welcome. I hope you guys are doing very well. Thank you for joining me. If you've chosen third group, the amethyst, and the reading is for you. What have they realized about you? Okay, so we have the Fool, we have Justice, and we have the Chariot, all in the upright and all major arcana. That's pretty cool. Okay, what have they realized about you? So they've realized that you potentially, or you do for a fact, have a lot of maybe power, influence, or status. They've realized that you really are like a unicorn to them. You are truly unique, truly yourself. Despite that, they do feel like you kind of try to blend in or not stand out too much. But regardless, like they do feel like you stay true to yourself. They've realized that you get a lot of attention, but may not like the attention that you do get. They could they could think you prefer to be low key or just do your own thing without having eyes and focus on you, you know. But yeah, they realize just how much they admire you, and they know a lot of people feel the same way. They've noticed that you are always finding new layers and depths to yourself. They feel like you're always learning, finding new interests. They've also realized that you stay out of the drama, you stay out of the chaos and the mess, you know? Like you don't start it and you don't get involved. They do think you have this purity about you, you know? Like you really are like a light. That's funny. I picked up the Hermit and like you're kind of like that lamp. I don't is it called a lamp? But yeah, you're like this lantern or whatever it's called. So yeah, like you're like they do think you have this purity about you. I don't know about innocence though, but like there is this pureness for sure. They've noticed that you are adventurous. You keep things interesting, you know. They realize that you really are a great friend to them, regardless of whatever kind of relationship you have with them. They've noticed that you are generally down to earth and humble. They realize that you do great in social situations. And they also have noticed that you are pretty much free to do what you want, and that is how you like it. They could think that you are starting a new phase of your life without them. They do think that they will end up missing a chance with you or an opportunity. They've realized that you are very confident, you like taking risks. For some of you, they've realized that you are an entrepreneur or that you just have that entrepreneurial spirit. For some of you, maybe you guys are legit, entrepreneurs, and maybe they didn't really deep that before, but now they like clearly see it. But yeah, they think that you like having things to aim for. You like having a goal, maybe even a purpose, whether it's small or big in that moment, but they feel like you always have an aim. Um, they've also seen in their perspective that you may not like serious conversations. For some of you, they've realized that you have a strong grasp on certain like in certain fields, like say for example you have a strong grasp on science, or for some of you they think you have a strong grasp on the legality of things. or you just have like a lot of random information in your head, like maybe because of all of the different interests that you've kind of accumulated like over the years, but for some of you specifically, they do realize that you do have a strong grasp on the law or legal stuff, They've also seen that some people do not treat you fairly. They do think a lot of people judge you before really getting to know you. They maybe have realized as well that maybe a few people are jealous of you, or that's something that they've noticed. For some of you, depending on who this person is, like they could have realized actually that they are the ones jealous of you. Maybe they didn't really deep that in the past. But yeah, they've realized that you believe in karma. I don't know why that's an important message, but yeah, they realize that you believe in karma. Um, they think that that you may have a dark side to you, although they've never seen it. They do think you care about power and status. They've realized that you are not easily influenced, okay? They've seen that things are working out in your favor. They can think you're quite lucky that way. But they've also seen that you've been really patient on your journey and that it has worked out for you. For some of you, they think you need to use your mind more, maybe be more analytical, discerning, or logical. Like they think that your logic is definitely needed in certain situations, that it would help, but like similar to what came through at the start, like they think you aren't trying to get involved in a mess, like regardless of whether your like your voice or your logic or your knowledge could help in that moment. They've realized that you're smart, but you either don't take advantage of it, in their opinion, or you don't, I don't know, like it's not something that you kind of like wear on your sleeve. Like you don't walk around with "I'm fucking smart" on my forehead. They kind of just feel like you're maybe low key about it, or it's just not a big deal to you. It's like I'm smart, but yeah, they've noticed that you always look like you're in deep thought, contemplating stuff. They realized they would love if you spoke up more. For some of you, they maybe would love if you spoke to them more. But yeah, they've realized that you may not treat them fairly, that you could hold them to a different standard to other people. But they think that they need to approach you rationally. They think you guys are quite similar in certain ways. And they've noticed that you are a go getter, that you are very proactive. They think you are on a great path for you. Um, but when it comes to the two of you, they feel like things have kind of stalled. And they've realized that they do indeed want more movement between you guys. Okay. But that is all that's coming through. Those of you who chose this group, I really do hope it could make sense and be helpful. I'm wishing you the best. Okay? Bye.